Hello and welcome to the class. My name is Paddy. Today we're going to be talking about predicting answers in the IELTS reading test. If you have any questions for us after you watch this class, you can click on the chat icon which is at the top of your page here. If you click on that icon, you will be able to send us a message with any questions that you have. This is the first class of 2 classes, and this video will last just over 20 minutes. First, we're going to look at how to predict answers from the context, and then we're going to do some prediction practice. So by the end of this video, you will be more aware of how to predict your answers in the reading test. During this video, there will be some questions for you to answer. You can find these questions below the video. I will tell you when you need to answer these questions, and I'll give you about 10 to 15 seconds to do so. Okay, let's get started. Here is a title of an IELTS text. What do you think the topic of this text is? Is it A, audience numbers at cinemas, B, money and movies, or C, discovering lost movies? Look at the first question below this video and choose the correct option. So this text will probably be about B, money and movies. In the word crowdfunding, you might recognize the word funding. This is related to providing money. And of course, film is a synonym of movie. So we know that this text is probably going to talk about economics and money, and it's going to talk about the film industry. As well as the title, some texts have a subtitle or subheading. This is a very short paragraph which gives a little bit more of an explanation about the topic of the text. Let's read this one. Crowdfunding, the practice of obtaining donations to fund a project, is becoming an increasingly popular way for artists to finance their work. We consider the process from independent filmmaker April Lambert's perspective. So from here, we can see a definition of crowdfunding, which is about obtaining donations to fund a project. So this must be a movie project. This is becoming more and more popular as a way for artists to fund their work or finance their work. This article will be from the perspective of a filmmaker whose name is April Lambert. Okay, now we have some idea of the context of this text. Now we should look at the questions. Here is a question from this text. We can see that this is a sentence completion question, and there is no word list, which means we must take our answer from the text. So that will be one word or more than one word from the text. We must copy it directly without changing the form or the spelling. First, let's read the instructions. Complete the sentence below. Choose no more than 2 words from the passage for each answer. No more than 2 words tells us that if we write 3 words, we will get 0. 1 word or 2 words could be correct here. Now, let's look at the context around the space. So we have a space here, and before it, we have the word some. So to build up some, and then the space. Using this information, what is the word class of the answer? The word class could be a noun, for example, accompany. It could be a verb, for example, deliver, or it could be an adjective, for example, essential. It may also be an adverb, but this is less common. Which of these do you think this gap is going to be? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option, A, B, or C. This answer is going to be A, noun. So after the word some, we would expect a noun or a noun phrase. A noun phrase could be made up of an adjective and a noun. So this whole phrase will be a noun, but remember, there could be an adjective before it. Okay, so we know the word class, but there's many, many kinds of noun. What type of noun could this be? It could be A, an uncountable noun, such as information or water. A singular countable noun, like camera or person. A plural countable noun, like mistakes or people. Or a proper noun, like Hollywood or Samsung. Which of these do you think the word in this space could be? In this case, it could be two of them. Look at the next question below this video and choose the two correct options. So after the word some, we might expect A, an uncountable noun, like some information. Or it could be C, a plural countable noun, like some people or some mistakes. So the first part of prediction is about identifying what kind of word to expect grammatically. Now we should think about what kind of word would suit the context. Let's read the question again and think about what words would make sense in the context. The first step in obtaining crowdfunding is the creation of a promotional video to build up some gap for the project among the potential backers. So I noticed that before we have the word build up. So we're going to build up something for the project among the potential backers. Now, maybe we don't know what backers means, but we could guess that it's people with that ER ending. So what might we want to build up among people for a project? Let's think about some possibilities. Awareness, excitement, money, houses, actors, or interest. Which three of those make sense in the context of this sentence? Look at the next question below this video and choose the three possible options. So we could build up awareness, we could build up excitement, and we could build up interest. The other three options don't fit with the word build up and among the potential backers. So now we have an idea of the type of word we should be looking for in the text. Those three options, awareness, excitement, and interest, will not necessarily be the correct answer, but they fit into the category of the kind of word we should be searching for in the text. Before we look at the text, we need to know what part of the text to focus on. We don't want to read the whole text in detail just for this question. So we should underline some keywords in the question so we know where to look in the text. Here we have the same question, but two different students have underlined keywords, student A and student B. Which student do you think has underlined more useful keywords for finding the correct section of the text? Look at the next question below this video and select the correct option, student A or student B. Here, student B has underlined more useful keywords. The first step, so we know we're looking for something talking about a process. Obtaining crowdfunding, we could expect to see a synonym of this in the text. Obtaining, we have getting, for example. The creation of a promotional video. So this is an important noun in the text, and creation may be a verb in the text. Of course, build up is especially important because it's the verb that our answer is the object to. For the project and among potential backers. So we're going to be looking for a part of the text that contains all or most of these keywords as synonyms or paraphrasings. Using those keywords, I have found this section of the text. I've noticed that it matches a few of my keywords. Procedure. This makes me think of a process. That reminds me of first step. Promotional video. Well, that's exactly the same as the question here. Often, it will not even have to paraphrase anything. Obtaining crowdfunding, we can see in receiving money. Creation is similar to produce. Project is talking about the yet-to-be-made film. Potential backers doesn't seem to be mentioned anywhere. That's okay, you probably won't find all of your keywords in the relevant section of the text, but I think there are enough matches here. Now, our really important keyword was build up. Can we find a synonym in the text? Generate. Now let's think back to our predictions from earlier. We predicted awareness, excitement, or interest. Now I don't see these in the text, but can we find any related words that might go in this gap? Look at the next question below this video. Can you write the word from the text that you think could go in this gap? Remember, you should copy it exactly as it appears in the text. In this text, the word enthusiasm would go in the space. So build up some enthusiasm for the project. Can you see how using those keyword matches and already having predicted the answer gives me confidence that this will be correct? Now I'm going to show you some examples of questions from completely different texts. I would like you to practice using grammar and context to predict what a logical answer would be. Number 1. After a long period of planning, the bridge was eventually constructed in... So this is a question about a different text. What could go in the space here? Would it be A, Venice, B, 1534, or C, the river? Think about the context and the grammar and decide what is the most logical prediction for this gap. Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The most logical prediction here would be 1534, the year. Venice could go in the space, but because of the phrases after a long period of planning and eventually, I suspect that this sentence is really focused on time. It's stressing that this bridge was built in this year after several years before it when it was being planned. The river doesn't really make sense. You don't construct a bridge in a river, you construct a bridge over a river. So pay attention to things like prepositions. 2. Conservationists say that industrial activity is causing damage to birds. What would be a good prediction for this gap? A, habitat, B, home, or C, on Scary Island? Look at the next question below this video and choose the option which is the best prediction for this gap. The best prediction here is probably habitat. We don't normally talk about a bird's home unless maybe we're being poetic about it. The correct word for where a bird lives is its habitat. IELTS texts are often scientific in nature, so they're probably going to use the correct word. Home could go grammatically, but it doesn't sound as good. On Scary Island doesn't work grammatically because we have this apostrophe S. So it's a possessive, it must be followed by a noun, not a preposition. 3. The designers added a quick release button for gap the case easily. I'd like you to think about the grammatical form of the word that could go here. A, remove, B, removal, or C, removing. Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The correct word form here is removing. After for, we're going to have a noun, or in this case, an ing verb. Removal is a noun, but we would have to say for the removal of the case easily. So that's not an option in this case. Remove is a base infinitive, and that would come after the preposition to. 4. The team of American archaeologists discovered 3 ancient artifacts made in, could it be A, wood, B, the USA, or C, Europe? Think about the most logical answer that could go in this gap. Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. So the most logical answer would be Europe. Wood doesn't work. We don't say made in wood, we say made of wood. Now, the USA and Europe are both possible answers, but the word archaeologist, ancient, and artifact makes me think that these objects must be very, very old. The USA is quite a new country, only 250 years old or so. So Europe as a continent is much older. So here I'm using my knowledge and a little bit of logic. It's not going to test you too much, but it's a good prediction to make. That is the end of class 1. Now it's time to watch class 2 and then do the extra training and practice activities on this topic. Remember, if you have any questions for us, you can click on that chat icon at the top of your page there, send us a message with any questions that you have. Thank you for listening.